transportation system. This is one famous photo of the tsunami. One superstructure is floating inside the Pacific Ocean, and this is another view of that area after washed by the tsunami. So from that experience, we just found that it tried to make some like what happened to the or what damage is related to the geotechnical engineering perspective. So this was a huge tsunami, huge mega earthquake. So liquefaction was the main problem. So liquefaction happened lot of areas, and spreaded up to Tokyo from the Tohoku region. And due to the liquefaction, the soft and the foundation become little bit not so good condition, so it toppled easily. The foundation failure happened due to that, and dam failure is also happened. And then some ground settlement happened due to the earthquake, and that makes some water logging near the shore area. And one of the international airports there, the runway also covered by the like tsunami water, and rail tracks damaged. In Japan, they have a lot of good network of rail systems, but in that area it was damaged due to that. And some, of course, retaining wall, embankment fail happened. So for example, this is on liquefaction. So stand ball happens. So due to the earthquake was stayed like 6 minutes, but there are lot of aftershock. So far recorded like more than 3,000 aftershock happened after the big earthquake. So lot of liquefaction happened that causes serious damage from up to Tokyo even. Like what happened, if liquefaction happens, sometimes the differential settlement happened, and if differential settlement happened, you cannot stay in that house anymore. You have to restore, or like if settlement happen like particularly, you can just make or put another step or something like that. But if it like differential settlement, you cannot stay anymore at that house, so you have to restore either or break down. And you can find these different residential areas, it happens like differential settlement, so people cannot stay in those type of house anymore. And this is one photo, like the manhole becomes almost come out 3 feet or something like that from the due to the liquefaction. And one dam has failed due to that earthquake and earthquake area. And you can find like foundation failure. So in most of the there are some examples of different types of foundation. Even when I went there, I found like 3-story building just topple and the pile becomes broken. So, and it was very much unusual, because for a spread footing foundation, it is expected that it could be toppled due to the high speed of the tsunami. But the reasons for that topple of like pile foundation, like friction pile or unsupported pile, so due to the earthquake, it was little bit liquefied, and just after that, when the tsunami comes, they could not resist. So different types of foundation failed due to that combination of two disasters: first earthquake and consequent tsunami. And there are some soil settlement like subsidence in almost 0.5 meter, like half meter to almost 1 meter in surroundings areas, and that causes the serious problem actually afterwards. So left hand side the before, and this is the after the earthquake and tsunami. So you can find the change of the things. So after settlement, like almost 1 meter, the seawater can easily enter into the inside. For example, this is one fishery harbor in Naga Bay area, but it was after the tsunami, due to the and the earthquake, it had some settlement, so water comes here and people cannot use it anymore. So this is one of the examples how it could make some impact or damage to the even after the natural disasters, people cannot use it, the fishermen cannot use it. And then let's see some the damage to the railway earth structures. So this is on photo taken by me in the Iwate prefecture. So you can see the rail line, that the rail track should be here, but if the tsunami force is entire line just washed away to the other part. So it's not easy thing to think, but it happened. So even in the ground surface, it was so protected in that area, but it was so powerful that it just toppled or just washed away from its original track. And some of the areas, like in the left top corner, some parts of the soil just washed away, cut off, and here is one tunnel, and there should be one rail track, it is also washed away, and some embankment trail like this. So rail system was very much damaged in after the tsunami. So for this case, only the tsunami is responsible, like earthquake didn't have any effect to this, but only the tsunami causes this type of thing. And some of the damages also in the bridges also, like here some superstructure is collapsed due to the pile broken. Some area, these are also not by the earthquake, this is due to the force of tsunami wave, it just go this way, and sometimes in the lower portion, in the foundation area, if the soil becomes scarred or eroded due to the wave action, so it causes the failure in that way. And some retaining wall damages, like in the railway track near the slope, there are some retaining wall, but due to the washed away by the tsunami. And this is also not by the earthquake, this is by the tsunami wave actions. And one of the runways in Sendai Airport, Sendai Airport is the biggest airport there, international airport, but when the tsunami comes, it was like the photo of that time. The airport is here, so all the way through the water comes and it just washed all the houses and everything in the area. And those right hand side, those are like agricultural field. So we will see that the tsunami water also just covered those agricultural field, and that causes the another damages. And this is the another view of the Sendai International Airport. So the tsunami water is approaching and washing away all the cars and with mixing with other debris. And finally it looks like that the surrounded the Sendai Airport is surrounded by the tsunami water. And you can see the inside the debris, a lot of cars, aeroplanes, and some other waste are just mixing together. So let's see some geoenvironmental problems happened due to that tsunami. Number one is the disaster debris, like as I mentioned, a lot of like 23,000 like million kilogram of waste generated, and it was very difficult how to properly treatment of this and utilization of this, because Japan is not so big country in terms of like land area, so they cannot put like anywhere. They have to manage it, either incinerate, or they don't have like big landfill. So initially it was really difficult to how to deal with that large amount of waste. and how to make like separate the different types of waste like wood waste or like metal waste or some other waste. So but gradually they did it, and then tsunami deposit like sedimentation. So after tsunami came, the and stayed around like half days or something. So a lot of sedimentation happened. Like in some places where we visited, like almost 20 centimeter, 25 centimeter, sorry, tsunami deposited, sedimentation happened, and that caused the totally different story of the, especially for the agricultural field. And many of them contain salt and toxic chemicals. And do you know where is this toxic chemicals came from? Like hundreds years ago, when the environmental protection is not so good, many sorry, many industrial waste goes to the sea, and it gradually settle under the seabed. And when the tsunami wave comes, it just mix together with all the settled sediment and then come to the shore and gradually settle. So it has lot of toxic chemicals. Like normally Japan don't think about the arsenic in the soil, but after the tsunami they found lot of areas are affected by higher concentration of arsenic. And of course the saline water of the is very much dangerous. So saline water comes and make the soil saline and unusable for the agriculture. And also soil and groundwater contamination due to the damage of storage facilities. For example, like lot of refrigerators, lot of freezers, they just washed away, and after collecting those and put in the some temporary landfill site, some fluoride or fluorine, these type of things are just leached and go to the groundwater. So that was another caused some problem. And of course, you know, the nuclear accident which was happened in Fukushima, so that causes a lot of problems in terms of geo-environmental point of view, like high radiation surroundings the nuclear power plant, and nobody can go enter there. So still Japan is fighting to how to protect that one and how to get rid of that accident. And of course sanitary problems and environmental issues due to the, in many places ground subsidence happen. So here is some view of the separation of the waste after the tsunami. So a lot of concrete waste is dumped and separated, and the damaged cars and like woods and scraps of iron, they put it. And also they made some places for like home appliances like refrigerators or freezers or TV or something like that. And yeah, but they put it first temporarily, and after that they gradually manage it, because after the tsunami it was the greatest challenge to how to deal with the debris or waste the first time, because it was really not so easy. I did some volunteer job there after the tsunami, so it was really hard job. Like you don't have any restaurants, entire city destroyed, so you have to prepare your food by yourself, and you have to carry your water by yourself, and all the day you have to work in this like huge amount of waste and everything. So here is some examples like how far the tsunami water entered. The red color is the place up to where the tsunami water entered. So from the shoreline the maximum reaches like 10 kilometer, like 6 miles or something. So it's really far away from the shoreline, and due to that lot of